and published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism, examined clinical trials that looked at the effects of exercise among people with type 2 diabetes. Their analysis revealed that in 20% of people with type 2 diabetes, exercise did not lead to improvement in blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity, or their body's ability to burn fat. The study suggests that this resistance to exercise among people with type 2 diabetes is genetic and can be handed down through generations. In essence, if you have tried exercising and had no improvement in your diabetes or fat loss, it's likely that you are one of those people who are resistant to exercise and it will do nothing to help your diabetes. And even if you exercise could work for you, it still only mimics the effects of diabetes medications by lowering blood sugar but not addressing the root cause, the insulin resistance. And with that, Kevin revealed the big diabetes lie number 3. Carbohydrates are your enemy. Why is it that all diabetics now fear carbohydrates? Why are low-carb, high-fat diets seen as a healthy alternative? It is far from the truth. In 1935, Dr. Rabinovich did a little-known research study on the subject of high-fat diets and diabetes, a disease largely unknown at this time. He writes, "Suffice it to say that it now appears to be fairly well established that carbohydrates improve, whereas fats impair carbohydrate tolerance, and that carbohydrates increase, whereas fats decrease the sensitivity of the individual, animal, and man to insulin." 20 years later, in the 1950s, another doctor, Dr. Walter Kempner at Duke University, did an incredible study. He demonstrated that it was not high carbohydrates, but in fact, high-fat diets that were causing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. He even showed that a diet composed of rice and fruit, simple low-fat, high-sugar, and carbohydrate foods actually had no negative effect on insulin resistance at all, and actually improved it. Conventional thought about diabetes states that foods high in carbohydrate will exacerbate diabetes and increase the requirements for insulin and medication. This is the cornerstone of the Atkins diet, the South Beach diet, the Zone diet, and the Paleo Revolution. Central to each of these diets is a reduction in carbohydrate intake for the explicit purpose of reducing the need for insulin, which in turn reduces the severity of diabetes and leads to significant weight loss. So, by this low carbohydrate rationale, Dr. Kempner's rice fruit diet should have resulted in metabolic disaster for his patients living with type 2 diabetes. The rice fruit diet should have increased his patients' insulin requirements, caused unwanted weight gain, and exacerbated cardiovascular disease. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The increased carbohydrates had, in fact, improved insulin resistance. Dr. Kempner was one of the first physicians to prove that carbohydrates are not the enemy. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but Kevin was absolutely right. So if you thought your bad diet caused your diabetes, if you thought too much carbohydrate or sugar caused it, or that you didn't exercise enough, think again. They had no factor in why you have diabetes today. They are not the true cause of insulin resistance. I know this because in just 1 minute, I will reveal to you the real little-known cause of insulin resistance as proven by numerous clinical studies. A dangerous toxin that is widespread across the entire planet, as well as the simple 60-second habit.
You need to go to the link. Check it out.
Now to flush this toxin out of your body and reverse your diabetes in just